Hello and welcome to Live with Bottleneck. My name is Jamie J. I'm the host of Live with Bottleneck, and where we hope to stop the bottleneck in your business and in your life. And today I'm going to be talking with Stephen Edwards. We're going to be talking about how to successfully set up a virtual career fair. We're just going to have a nice little conversation. Hopefully this will benefit you in many ways. Let me get right to the introduction here so that we can get this conversation started. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn, by all means, feel free to ask questions right away. If you're watching this in evergreen, meaning in a pre-recorded state somewhere down the road, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section, and I will make sure to get those to Stephen so that he can get you an answer back right away. So without any further ado, let's check this, kick the show off, and we'll get started in 43 seconds. Welcome to Live with Bottleneck. My name is Jamie J. I am the host of Live with Bottleneck and also the CEO and founder of Bottleneck Distant Assistants, where we help stop the bottleneck in your business and your life. I'm also the author of Quit Repeating Yourself, and super stoked to have Stephen Edwards today. And why can Stephen Edwards help stop the bottleneck in your business? Well, we're going to be talking about the keys to running a successful virtual career fair. And Steve is the founder of Premier Virtual, an innovative company helping businesses host successful virtual hiring events. In this new hiring landscape, virtual hiring events are an essential component of recruitment efforts. And Steve and his team are committed to help usher in this new era. After jumping out of planes in the Army, holy cow, we're going to have a story about that because I was in the 82nd. We're going to have to swap some stories. Steve entered to the world of job fairs and noticed an emerging trend. In-person hiring events were getting less engagement. With Millennials and GenZers moving towards remote work and distributed teams becoming more prevalent, the hiring process was transitioning from in-person to virtual. With decreased engagement, companies were struggling to hire and retain quality talent. This inspired Steve to create a solution with Premier Virtuals. Without any further ado, please allow me to welcome Stephen Edwards. How are you, Steve?
I'm doing well, Jamie. Good to be here. So you were in the 82nd as well. When were you there?
I was there in 89, 90 to 92. Second 325.
Okay, so I was there 94 to 98. I was a parachute rigger. So I was the one that every time you got up in the plane, you're like, please, I hope this is a good, a good rigger. So,
well, I've got one story for you before we jump in because I think you'll appreciate this. And it was the very first jump in jump school, and they put you into chalks, which are lines, right? You know what those are. Well, so I was roster number 127, and I'll never forget it because I was also roster number 127 in basic. So I heard 127, chalk 4, and there I go. I got out of chalk 3, went over to chalk 4, and I was like, thank the Lord I'm the last person, thank you. What most people don't understand is that the last person is the first person. Very first jump, chalk 4, first person to jump out. So they go through all the setups, sound off for equipment check, and stand up, hook up, all that kind of stuff. And you check the person and slap the button of the person in front of you, and it gets to that first person. You're supposed to take one step forward, and with authority, all okay, jump master. Well, what came out was, and he said, what? And I said, and I have all that training. You go, the green light. He said, when that green light's going to go, you're going to go. And I said, yes, jump master. well, you're supposed to count 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 because you're attached to that static line, right?
Yep.
What came out was, that was my very first jump, and it was quite memorable to say the least.
So I was the first guy out the door as well on my first jump, and I'm standing in the door, and the jump master goes, "Are you scared?" I go, "Hell yeah, I'm scared, jump master." He goes, "Look at the ground." He goes, "Look at the ground." He goes, "I said, look at the ground and tell you I'm scared." I'm like, "I'm not scared of you. I'm shitting my pants. I'm so scared." I'm like, "You got to be kidding me." And then all of a sudden it goes, "Go." And I was out the door, right? Because the first guy, you just take a step. And it's so much easier for those listening when you're jumping out of these planes, right? In combat formation, you're just going, right? Because it's like every second, you're a second apart from the person in front of you. On the other side of the plane, right? They're a second apart. So there's every half second, somebody's coming out of the plane. And I always said after that, if I was ever the first person again, I don't know if I would go because I was scared of heights. I didn't like it. And after that, you're just walking, right? You're just walking. You look and you hand the static line. You just take a step and the air sucks you out. You don't have to step into nothing. So same aspect, scared. I would never do it again, but 18 to 22 years old, it was fun, you know?
Heck yeah. And I think I still have it. Yeah, I still have my little challenge coin.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah. I got those all over. I actually just got one from Angus, which is the Enlisted Association of the National Guard. They're here. They're a client of ours. And he gave me a coin. And I was like, man, it's been 20 years since I had a coin. But so they did a little ceremony for myself and my business partner. So it was kind of cool to be back, back involved a little. We do a lot with the military now. So it's always interesting.
Well, thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank
awesome.
you.
Well, I know there's a little side note there, but I was really excited to chat with you about that.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more who you are, what you've been up to, and kind of what you have going on now, and we can talk about Premier Virtual.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I got out of the Army, I moved to Florida for college. Got out of college, I traveled. I used to build sales teams for a third-party marketing company. So I would go into different states. I ran New York, New Jersey, Florida, and Texas. So I would go in and build a sales team. How do you build sales teams? Job boards and job fairs. So I would attend every one. We'd build a sales team. I'd move to the next market, and then I would just travel, right? That was pre-wife, pre-kids, lived out of a suitcase. Well, then that company unfortunately shut down their division, and I was back here in South Florida, and where I went to school. And I went up to my business partner now, who's a roommate of mine in college, Gary Chambers, and I said, I got an idea. We're going to start a job fair company, but not just any job fair company. There's a company out of New Jersey. Guy's great at what he does. He does efficient job fairs. They're in the evening time. They're geared towards sales. And every candidate sits in a room and the company say, here's who we are. Here's what we do. Here's what we're hiring for. So it drives the right candidates in and there's no wasted time. And I'm like, I loved it. So we went to him, we approached him, and said, here's what we want to do. So we put on in-person job fairs for 9 years. But guess what? 2018, things changed, right? You had Millennials and GenZers. They'd rather apply on this than wait in line. So as people stop coming to my job fairs, companies want to start paying. And, at this time I'm married. We got a little one at home. And I'm like, I got to figure out some way to make some money. So I'd heard about virtual job fairs. Somebody told me about them and I'd never heard of them before. So Gary and I looked at some things and I was like, this is the future instantly. First demo I ever saw, I said, this is the future. Nobody was really doing virtual job fairs at the time back in 2018. So I started doing virtual job fairs and I'm like, this is it. I'm going, the other organization we were with, they didn't love virtual. They loved in person and they wanted to go this way. Gary and I wanted to go the virtual way. So we went and we started doing it. Well, what I found out is some of the platforms that were out there weren't really what I wanted. They were great. They were good, but it wasn't what my clientele wanted. So we said, we're going to build our own platform. So we decided, and I went to my wife and I said, we're not going to make money for a few years. I'm going to pull all of our money out of savings and we're going to develop a software. She's like, you're not a software developer. I go, I know, we're going to do this. But I had two people that were behind me, and that was Gary and Christine, my wife. And we decided to build a software. So we started building Premier Virtual in 2019. Going in, decided, hey, we're not going to, August, we did our first test event. And I was like, I love this, but I think this can be bigger. And we decided to license our software. So then we went out and we switched our entire business model as we're developing the software, which was lots of changes put up behind. Anybody who's developed software knows things always get behind. So then you change a business model, it puts it behind even more. So we finally come January, we launch, we get our first client that says, okay, we want to do an event and it's going to be in March. And we all know what happened in March. The world stopped. Nobody knew it was going to go on. You come home, you better take a shower, get your clothes up before you walk in the door. If you go to the grocery store, you have gloves, you have masks. Nobody knew anything what was going to happen. But our phone started ringing because we had a virtual platform and we did events and we did more events and we really started to go. Well, then we started realizing, right, we kind of said, okay, well, we're going to go after certain industries. And we went after workforce development boards, job fair companies that put on in-person events that now didn't know what was going to happen. So we went after that. We've now done almost 7,000 virtual hiring events on our platform.
Wow.
That our organizations do. We had the largest ever job fair in history was done on our platform with the state of Massachusetts. Had 1,700 companies, 17,000 job seekers. Over 1.3 million booth views, 46,000 available jobs. That kind of stuff can't be done in person. Now, I believe there are companies that are better for in person. I believe in person is not going anywhere, but hybrid's the future. I can give more analytics, and it doesn't matter if it's a small company to a large company. And, we really try to tell people this is, talking about virtual events, and we're going to talk about how to make it successful. But when you say virtual now, some people are like, oh, not again, not another platform, right? Because of COVID, some people got burnt out by virtual. But what is virtual? Is Zoom virtual? Is StreamYard virtual? Both of them are, but both of them are completely different than what we do. When I tell somebody what we do, like, oh, like Zoom, I'm like, that's a great question right there. Zoom, it does this compared to what our platform does. But Zoom's a lot bigger, and Zoom is used on a daily basis. I use Zoom, right? Certain things, I have that, right? But the platform that we developed is not just for virtual events. We have companies that do national hiring events on our platform, but we have individual mom and pop companies that want to do their own hiring events. So instead of just posting on job boards, they can use the platform because we're the only virtual platform out there that has our own video interview software that they can go in and pre-record videos that candidates can answer. We have pre-registration questions. I like to tell people we have a registration just like Eventbrite. We have group video, webinar videos, and one-on-one just like Zoom. And then we have video interview software like the Spark Hires and the HireViews of the world. But it's all in one platform. So you can do so many different things with a virtual platform. And we have clients that teach us on a monthly basis. We do webinars and they're like, hey, Steve, we're doing this on your platform now. And I'm like, well, wasn't what it's designed for, but now we have a new use case, right? Check off that, send it out to other clients and say, hey, guess what our platform can do? Because there's people are using our platform for more than just, the job fairs of the world.
That's an interesting story. I hear you. When it comes to building software or anything else, it's aligned with systems and processes. And especially when you initially have an idea, when you start to learn more about it, it's almost inevitable that things are going to change and get tweaked a little bit and processes are going to change. And all of that takes time. Kudos to you for recognizing a trend earlier on. And if you look at the silver linings of what COVID did, it probably enhanced your position even more. I know it did for us. And what we found was based on a study that I read from a company called Dojo.co. They analyzed a computer programming company. They built software for a living. COVID hit, and one of the ways that they measured the performance of their team was how many lines of code would they write. They increased their lines of code, their productivity by 70%.
Wow.
However, what they found was it took longer to get updates and versions of their software out. And we couldn't figure out what that was, or they couldn't figure out what it was. And finally, what they found out was people were way more productive, but there were bugs that were tweaking because they didn't have that collaboration. However, what they found was gold. Approximately 10% of that company that they studied could increase their productivity and still remain remote. And it was really neat. So using that parameter, there's still roles that you can find that can either be of hybrid or complete 100% remote, and the overall productivity of the entire company is enhanced. Yeah. So I think it's really good that you captured this platform and this audience. It's just blowing me away, those numbers. That's massive.
Yeah, it's been good, right? Just when COVID kind of slowed down a little bit, there's people out there. I say there's 3 types of people out there right now. Hey, this is not no political or anything statement. This is just the 3 types of people that I say are out there. You have the people that they believe COVID is the worst thing ever. It's still here. They're the ones that are, right, maybe there's family issues, whatever it is, but they're the ones that are wearing their mask in the car. They got the gloves on. They don't want to go out of the house. If they go out of the house, they're still kind of in their bubble. They want to stay in. They want to stay secluded. Then you have the people that are on the other side that are like, COVID's over. I'm done with COVID. I don't care. I'm not wearing masks. I'm going out. I'm living my life. But then you have the we'll call it the majority of the people in the middle that are like, I don't really know where I think about it, right? Maybe I lean a little more one way than the other. I'm going to be careful, but yet I'm going to live my life. So what we, right, kind of here at Premier Virtual, I believe in is I can help all 3 of those.
Yep.
You can have that in-person event. Great. Have it. You want to go? I love people. I love to go to networking events. I love to go to happy hour. We love to be out on the water. I love to be out. But I know it's more efficient to have a virtual event because I can get more analytics, more data, people from anywhere. Like we did a worldwide job fair. It was a 24-hour job fair. And every hour a different time zone logged in across the world.
Oh, wow.
It's the craziest, right? And we had live staff during all that. That's one of our benefits of our company is we have live staff during every event. So we had shifts throughout the middle of the night. So the good thing is my shift is in the middle of the night with one other person. And he's like, I'll call you if I need you. But we had 0 issues, which is always positive thing with the platform, especially like that 1,700 company, 17,000 job seeker event. No downtime. That's key when you're building that. But it doesn't matter where you are at the spectrum of being in public, not being in public. You have the ability to do everything on virtual, hybrid, in person. You have to have a mix of it to get this. And when you talk about workers, I just spoke at a conference last week, and I spoke about the Great Resignation versus the Great Return. And for those people that don't understand what that is, we've all heard about the Great Resignation, right? People quitting their jobs for whatever reason, because they want to live in, sunny South Florida. They don't want to live up in the Northeast anymore. They're done with the snow. They don't want to deal with that anymore. But the Great Return is now you have companies that are forcing people to come back to work. And I was at happy hour with one of my college buddies last week, and he's pretty high up in a big company here in South Florida, and he said he had 5 people on his team quit last week because they started making them come back to the office. So now who's going to win, right? The Great Resignation versus the Great Return. As companies are saying, I'm going to bring you back in, how many people are going to leave? because they don't want to go in, right? They want to live wherever they want, right? They don't have to drive. They don't have to be stuck in traffic. They don't have to deal with these crazy gas prices that are out there, right? You can, cook dinner, right? I know I'm not a big fan of, I don't eat leftovers, so I don't bring lunch in, right? So we either grill out when the team is here, we grill out a lot at the office, or I walk across to the grocery store, right? That's expensive, right? And groceries, everything going up. So those people that can stay home are saving a little bit of money as well. And then you have the freedom, right? So it's going to be an interesting to see of who's going to win kind of that battle.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. It seems like it's so different, but I think people are kind of getting into the groove, right? They've had enough time to realize it. And I agree with you. I'd agree with your assessment that there's about 3 types of people. I would totally agree with that. I think one of the things we're now seeing is as of the time of this recording, it's July 6th. So we just went through the 4th of July weekend. I've never seen so many people out watching the fireworks than I have this year. And I'm trying to remember back pre-COVID. But it seemed like more people were getting out there and people are starting to get more comfortable. But I also know the happy index, people that are enjoying themselves. They found new opportunities being forced to be remote. And so how do you make the best of a good situation? We're human beings. We overcome, we adapt, we find new ways of doing things. And so many people, I don't believe in work-life balance. I believe in life balance. And especially if you have a family or, a spouse, having the availability to create your own schedule, no matter where you're employed or what you're doing, has really, I think, improved the quality of life. What do you say to that?
I absolutely think there's there. People are looking at different things, right? And I'm gonna kind of go around that question to come back to that question. When like office space, I love the collaboration of office space. And we grew, we had a small office pre-COVID and we grew to a larger office. And Gary and I, we said, we're going to build this beautiful office because if we build it, people will come. I mean, we ripped out the conference room. We put a beautiful gym in there. I mean, it used to be, we had people that one would get out of the gym, the next person would go in. So it was like all day people were in the gym. It was beautiful. Well, then all of a sudden, when the gas prices started skyrocketing, one person came to me and said, hey, do you mind if I work from home? I don't care. You could work from home. You could work from the office. I didn't care. Well, now suddenly it's everybody wants to work from home. So I can force everybody to come back. I know I'm going to lose people. So I said, hey, do we really need the office space? Do we need this much office space? So that's one aspect. But you're absolutely right, is people find that place. There's some people that want to come to an office because they just like to be in an office. They've been there for years. They love the connection, right? I had, Gary came into me a couple weeks ago. It's like, man, I love it when you and Zach are in the office because I'm yelling over to him in the other office. He has a collaboration and you two together is amazing, right? And then when the other team members come in, right, we grill out, we have lunch together, we do all that. You have that, right? That camaraderie you don't have over Zoom. And Zoom happy hours, those went by too much. There was too many of those. But finding something that you like is you said on the happiness index, right? We try to spend time on the water, right? So we can go out into the water, right? And you see it, right? The boats were out this weekend. We're out on the water, on a couple days this weekend, and just seeing people, and people are happy. And people are there. I mean, I live in South Florida. So, I know
that doesn't suck.
I know there's other states out there that are a little bit more locked down, right? And I understand, right? There's more people that some of the other states may not be as open to going out as Florida is. But I see it more here. More people are going to happy hour than just a year ago. Right? You're seeing it. I mean, I got some of my friends that, when COVID hit, we're like, we're going to have it. We're like, no. We're not going anywhere. But you're starting to see those people come back out even more, right? And being around other people. So I think that's going to change. people want that, like you said, the life balance. They want to be able to have that, right? Do they want to go out? What do they want to do? Do they want to, go? How many people can work remote, and be on vacation?
Yep.
I know I have some of my team members right now, they're working, but they're in different states because they're on vacation. But they can work, but they can shut down their laptop when they need to, get their work done, but go out and just, work from anywhere. So the balance is key.
Yeah, it's good. And thankfully, the technology advance is very supportive of these different lifestyles that you see now. When I started back in 2006, it was not the same type of technology. It was much more challenging. But thankfully, technology has made the world a little bit smaller and gives people a unique, different opportunity. And you mentioned earlier Gen Zers and things like that are coming up. I was talking with she specializes in Gen Zers. She wrote a book about Gen Zers. And you know what they define, according to her findings, and her name is escaping me right now, and I'll figure out what it is. But she defined face-to-face meetings for Gen Zers a Zoom call. Whereas, me being 52 years old, face-to-face is like going to coffee and meeting face-to-face, right?
Yeah.
It's just weird how that perspective changes. So I say that to kind of, I want to learn a little bit more about Premier Virtual before we wrap up today, because I promised you 20 to 30 minutes. We just hit the 26-minute mark. Who can benefit most from your platform, Premier Virtual?
So really any organization can benefit from this, and when you look at a private company that's small, that's only looking to hire a couple people, they can use our virtual recruitment suite where they can have video interviews, right? They can send them pre-recorded questions. The candidates can answer, right? They can send, predetermined questions that they want answers to get those analytics. So small companies can use it. Large companies could do national hiring events, regional hiring events, organizations, workforce development boards, veterans organizations, they can do a job fair and people can log in from anywhere, right? And that's the great thing, right? We work a lot with veterans organizations. I'm speaking at a conference next week at a veterans organization with workforce development boards. Because you think about those people when they're out of the military and now with technology, right? We talk about, technology. And I'm just going to, say this is when COVID first hit, one of my biggest competitors out there had been in the market the longest out of anybody. They didn't even have video software to do video through their virtual platform. Okay. So think about that. 2019, a virtual software platform didn't have video. Think about that, right?
How could you do it though?
It was all chat. Everything was chat.
Oh my God.
Talk to a chat, and then if you wanted to talk to them, they had to send a Zoom link or a Teams link or something like that. So when you think about kind of one of the bigger organizations in my field didn't have video. And the other ones that had video, the video wasn't good. So going back to when we were developing the software, I was talking with Zoom on how am I going to have 500 licenses on Zoom so that each one of the organizations had their own Zoom link.
Yeah.
That's how it changed, right? Now we instantly, right, we decided to, build our own video platform. But that's how it was just 4 years ago, right? The technology's changed, right? Like you mentioned, the face-to-face with you compared to the Gen Zs. Think about dating. I had to walk up to my wife, give her a cheesy pickup line, get her to smile, to get her phone number, to go from there. Now, I mean, I haven't ever been on them, but I hear dating is easy as just swiping. Just swipe, and you just hope that you match. Right? It's the same thing. So, but back to kind of, I get off on tangents on there, but any organization can use our platform. They can do it because they can have a single day hiring event. They can use it as their job board. We can integrate with their ATS. We can integrate with their website. So they could use it. We have companies that use our virtual software as their job board. so the candidates can come in because we track all the analytics. We have some that use it as the video. We have one of our clients that they use for their client, their workforce development board in Central Florida. So their biggest client out there, they use it specifically for a registration page. So they get all the candidates to register. They get all the analytics, their resume, their experience and everything. But then they go in and they have an in-person hiring event.
How are you getting the candidates?
So we don't do that. We're not a marketing company. We're the software behind
You're
it.
the platform. So
the platform.
They would get the platform and market out to
Correct. Social media. You know, when I tell, this is what I tell everybody, when you're looking for a successful or how to host a successful virtual platform, it's real easy. The first thing is you need the right platform. Okay. And I'm not just saying that because I'm Premier Virtual. Yes, we have the easiest platform to use. We've been ranked on the software sites, but I know that there's some bigger, right, trade shows. I'm not the right fit for them because they want other things. One is the right platform. Two is marketing your event, right? Is it an individual hiring event? Whatever it is, you have to market. You have to let people know you're hiring and where you're hiring at. So if you think about an event, and what I love about the virtual event space of it is you have a date, time, and a location. You take StreamYard, Zoom, Premier Virtual, networking events, virtual job fairs, or in-person job fairs. If you scrape everything back of what it is, what do they do? It connects one person with another person. Is it an employer with a candidate? Is it one attendee looking to speak with another one in networking? What is it? It's a connector, right? So virtual is really a connector. How do they connect? How easy is it to connect? Letting people know, hey, we're hiring at this date, time, location. Because you can drive the traffic in. Make sure the recruiters are there and you can go, right? Job fairs. I don't like long job fairs. When people say, oh, we're going to have an all day job fair. Great. That means your recruiter has to sit there all day. And the candidates, they're going to say, oh, well, I'm going to, I'll go in at 10 o'clock. Oh, my girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife called. They take a call. Oh, I'm going to go in at 11. I go to 11. All of a sudden, next thing, Jerry Springer's on. They watch one episode. They get in the next one. They kick up their feet, and they're like, oh, Jerry Springer's on all day. And they miss the job fair. You have to have short events, 2 to 3 hours max. And then the third thing, which to me is one of the biggest things, is reminding people that there's an event going on. You have a day that you have your interview days. Like we have an interview scheduler within our platform, so candidates can come in and schedule interviews.
Nice.
If you do not remind people about events, they're not going to come, right? What happened today, you guys sent me an email 24 hours ago. Then I got an email reminder this morning. But on my calendar, there was a pop-up. So I went in and I mark it. Hey, I have 15 minutes before because I knew I had to log in at a certain time. I have my calendar. Everything is on my calendar. So I went from one meeting into this. I'll get off this, go right into the next meeting. Job seekers don't do that. So you have to send reminders. So we built in reminders so that it goes out to the candidates. And then, right, 24 hours, an hour before, they get a text message when the event's live. And if they don't log in and there's an hour left, hey, the job fair is over in an hour and we see you haven't logged in. Smart reminders to make sure. And then the fourth thing, and this is more for organizations, is follow-up. You have to follow up with the candidates, right? And this is the old adage of, well, if they really want to work for me, they'll email me back. No, recruiters, send a thank you email.
Stay on top of it. Yeah.
Recruiters send a thank you. Candidates send a thank you email, right? I'm not going to get in, right? I talk a lot about preparing for an interview. If you ever want to talk about preparing for an interview, right, that's a whole other subject that I can talk about. But candidates need to send that thank you. Orgs need to do that, right? Just even if it's not a good fit, why not send them, hey, this isn't a good fit, right? But be interactive. Organizations, be interactive during the virtual job fair. If a candidate logs into your virtual room, look at their profile. Look at who they are. Now, I know a lot of the other competitors don't have as much information as we do, where a company can look at a candidate's experience, resume, watch their video resume, all right within the platform, but they can look at that and then they can say hi to that candidate. Let that candidate know, hey, Susie, thanks for stopping by. Let me know if you have any questions. And then, Susie.
That's really cool.
You available for a video? Let's jump on a video call right here. Boom, jump on immediately, right? You can go from a candidate can go from a lobby to a video in a matter of less than a minute if it's the right company. But they can see, right? There's in the virtual world, you can search, see the company, see the types of jobs, right? Use it as a job board. Virtual is exciting if it's used the right way.
Yep.
By people that like virtual, right? There's some people that don't. And those are the people that are going to get passed up, right? Just because, we're not going to go, right? 4 years ago, when people told me, virtual, you're crazy. When I announced it at a LinkedIn local event, they were all recruiters there. They all told me I was nuts. I was crazy, the dumbest idea ever. And then they all sent me messages on LinkedIn and called me and texted me and said, wow, that was really, you said that you were watching the trends.
Thanks for not listening to me.
Catalyst was, or it was a catalyst to what was going to be. This was the stuff that's happening now due to COVID with virtual, with remote work and all of that. That was coming anyway.
Yeah.
COVID just sped it up.
It did. It's so that's that crossing the chasm. It's, you have the early adopters, very, very small percentage, but there's this time before it gets to, the bulk of people. And it's trying to figure out, like, you can reach out to your friends and those people and say, hey, I'm doing this, and they'll do whatever you want. But when you don't know somebody, they got to see that it's tested, tried, and proven, and it actually works. And that takes a while. So kudos to you for going through that, man.
You even say this, right? I say this a lot, right? You have your friends and your family too that'll be like, hey, I'm supportive of you. But yet they will use, not maybe your competitors, but they'll do other things, right? They'll use other recruiting firms or anything else. Right? Your friends. But all of a sudden, one of those Kardashians puts something online about a new perfume and like, oh my gosh, I got the newest trend and stuff like that. It's like, why don't you go out and kind of support your friends, right? And I notice that, right? I will tell you, I cut people out of my life that are like, you want to be fake and support me? I don't want that, right? I want true supporters, but you see that so much. I was actually spoke at a thing. Elon Musk said it, right? Why don't we do business showers for new business owners?
Yes, I saw that.
Love that. So I had a guy that, I met through his podcast, and he did it because he just launched a new app. It's amazing. And it's about how to get to experts, right? So you can get to an expert, right? You can call him, did it, but he did a business shower, right? And I spoke at it and I was like, man, this is so amazing. But how much support did he really get, right? All of his friends, there were some there, but you take those same friends that are going to say, hey, great job. I love what you're doing. But hey, why don't you help me connect? That's when you know you're real friends, right? Are they really going to go out there? Or are they going to be like, oh man, look at this. Right. Yep. I got the new, the new Nike Air Jordans, right? Because some rapper or, musician said, hey, this is cool. Right. Even though it's probably garbage, they'll support them, but they won't support their friends. So, sorry, I had to go off on that. Right. Cause
I love that. I have a couple of buddies that I was like, wait, you did what? But we're here, and so I empathize with you. And so, hey, that, such is life. C'est la vie, right?
Yep. You got to love the people around you that really want to support you, right? Those are, I don't care if it's a small business, large business, right? Who do you support? And hopefully they support you. Surround yourself with people that are going to support you. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking for a business, don't listen to the naysayers. Right? People are going to tell you that's a dumb idea because they didn't think about it and they were scared to do it themselves. They were afraid to walk away. So,
yeah. Well, thank you for sharing. Is there anything else you would like to say before we wrap? Besides, how can people get in touch with you?
So our website, premiervirtual.com, go there, take a look a little bit about what we do. Schedule a demo or a strategy session with one of my team members. We can go over, right? When my team members, they're going to go over a strategy session to kind of tell you, here's how it can work for you, right? Because everybody's different. There's not one size fits all in here, right? There's so many aspects to our software and what it can do. And my team can help you. with that. You can always email me, steve@premiervirtual.com as well. And I can put you in touch with the person that runs that territory for our sales team. But, one of the big things about Premier Virtual that we have is we have an entire client success team. We help train you, your organizations, your recruiters. I've done Instagram lives. I've done Zoom webinars for attendees. We really put that customer service back in, right? Any event that's there, we have live staff, and it's all based here. We're all based here in South Florida. So we're here to help you because we know you don't do virtual on a daily basis. We do. So
that's awesome. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Anything else you'd like to say before we wrap?
That's it. I appreciate it. And, you're an 82nd guy, so it's good. I was on one with the guy who was 101st. So our first 10 minutes was a little bit different going back and forth. Go Army, right? So thank you for, Jamie, having me on your show. It was really exciting. And if anybody needs anything, we're here for you.
Thank you, Stephen. Can you hold on one quick second and I'll go ahead and wrap?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And so basically, I just want to say thanks to Steve for coming on and sharing. I'm probably even more partial to most. I love what he's doing. I love virtual or distant experiences. I get it. There's a time and a place for in-person. There's a time and a place for remote. But the way I see it, the future of work is a hybrid model. Some of those even can be 100% remote. I highly encourage you to reach out to Steve and go visit the site premiervirtual.com. Right now, there's a lot of turnover going on in this world, and there's a lot of people that aren't wanting to go back into the office, and there's a lot of different things that's happening. If you're looking to maximize your opportunities and finding the right talent, use a good, proven platform like Premier Virtual. Again, you can email Steve at premiervirtual.com, and that's STEVE at premiervirtual.com, and he'll introduce you to the right person that can help kind of walk you through the process with one of their client success managers. And so just want to say thank you again to Steve. Appreciate you jumping on board with us today on Live with Bottleneck. If you would like to learn how you can break through the bottleneck in your business today, go to bottleneck.online/BTV. That stands for Bottleneck Television. It's YouTube, but it's Bottleneck Television. We have episodes just like this and many others on there. You can even see an episode where we got our own Bottleneck custom-made tennis shoes. It's pretty neat. Obviously, you can check out quitrepeatingyourself.com to pick up one of my books or many of my books, how today's leaders are using systems and processes to grow their business the right way. And if we've been talking about the keys to running a successful virtual career fair with Steve Edwards, the founder and CEO of Premier Virtual. If you missed the previous episode, I talked with Scott Novus. He's the CEO and founder of Bravos Esports, and he basically helps teach team building through video games. We had a wonderful conversation. He told me about his experience working at Pixar. It was a lot of cool stuff. So if you want to check that out and you're looking at building your team effectively, go check out that episode with Scott Novus. And coming soon to your earbuds, the key to growth, building a pivot-ready team. Dirk Van Reenen is the founder and CEO of Bergflow. That's coming Wednesday, July 13th, 2022 at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. And again, my name is Jamie J. I am the host of Live with Bottleneck, founder and CEO of Bottleneck Distant Assistants, author of QuitRepeatingYourself.com. Thank you so much for listening to Stephen help stop the bottleneck in your business and hopefully your life. Once again, please go visit premiervirtual.com or email Steve today at Premier Virtual. He's all over social media. Again, he's the CEO and founder of Premier Virtual. So thanks again for tuning in. And don't forget, it's right up there. Create your own ripple. Have a fantastic day. We'll talk to you again soon.